Surah Al-Mursalaat, meaning the winds that scatter, is the 77th chapter of the Qur'an. This chapter, like many others, holds a special place in the hearts of Muslims due to its profound messages and the vivid imagery it employs. It is a powerful and evocative surah, rich in imagery and profound in message. The surah's verses paint a picture that is both awe-inspiring and humbling, reminding us of the grandeur and might of Allah. This Meccan surah, revealed before the Prophet's migration to Medina, emphasizes the undeniable reality of the Day of Judgment. The context of its revelation is significant, as it was a time when the early Muslims faced immense challenges and needed reassurance and strength. It vividly describes the events of that day, serving as a stark reminder of the consequences of our actions in this life. The imagery used in the surah is both dramatic and compelling, making it clear that the Day of Judgment is an event of unparalleled significance. The surah derives its name from its opening verse, which speaks of the winds that scatter. These winds are a metaphor for the forces of nature that Allah controls, and they set the stage for the powerful messages that follow. This sets the tone for the chapter, which repeatedly emphasizes the immense power of Allah. The natural phenomena described in the surah serve as reminders of Allah's omnipotence and the transient nature of our worldly existence. It highlights His ability to control the forces of nature and orchestrate the events of the Day of Judgment. The surah's vivid descriptions of natural disasters and cosmic events are meant to awaken our consciousness and make us reflect on our own lives. Al-Mursalaat is a call to reflection and a warning against heedlessness. It urges us to be mindful of our actions and to live with a sense of purpose and accountability. It urges us to recognize the signs of Allah's power around us and to prepare for the inevitable day of reckoning. The surah's message is clear. We must not be complacent, but rather we should strive to live righteously and seek Allah's pleasure. Through vivid descriptions and powerful oaths, the surah aims to awaken the hearts of humanity and guide them towards righteousness. The oaths taken in the surah serve to emphasize the gravity of its message and the certainty of the events it describes. Understanding the context and message of Surah Al-Mursalaat is crucial for every believer. It provides insights into the nature of divine justice and the importance of living a life that is pleasing to Allah. It provides a clear understanding of our purpose in this life and the importance of preparing for the hereafter. The surah's teachings encourage us to reflect on our actions and to strive for a life of piety and devotion. The surah's powerful imagery and profound message leave a lasting impact, urging us to live with awareness and strive for Allah's pleasure. By contemplating the messages of Surah Al-Mursalaat, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the Quran's guidance and the importance of living a life that is aligned with its teachings. To fully grasp the significance of Surah Al-Mursalaat, it is important to understand its historical context. This surah, like many others, is deeply rooted in the socio-political and religious landscape of its time, and its messages are intricately tied to the events and beliefs prevalent during the early years of Islam. Revealed in Mecca during the early years of the Prophet Muhammad's mission, the surah addresses a society steeped in polytheism and disbelief. The city of Mecca, a bustling center of trade and culture, was also a hub of various religious practices, with the Kaaba serving as a focal point for idol worship. The Quraysh, the dominant tribe of Mecca, vehemently opposed the Prophet's message, ridiculing the concept of resurrection and denying the existence of a day of judgment. Their power and influence were deeply intertwined with the existing religious practices, and the monotheistic message of Islam posed a direct threat to their authority and way of life. In this environment of skepticism and resistance, Surah Al-Mursalaat emerged as a powerful affirmation of Allah's absolute power and the certainty of the hereafter. The surah's verses were not just a spiritual message, but also a bold declaration against the entrenched disbelief and opposition faced by the early Muslim community. Its vivid descriptions of the Day of Judgment served as a direct challenge to the prevailing beliefs of the Meccan pagans. The imagery used in the surah was both striking and evocative, painting a picture of the inevitable end that awaited all of humanity, regardless of their current power or status. The surah's emphasis on Allah's ability to resurrect the dead and judge humanity with perfect justice aimed to dismantle the foundations of their disbelief. It sought to instill a sense of accountability and awareness of the transient nature of worldly life, urging the listeners to reflect on their actions and beliefs. Moreover, Surah Al-Mursalaat provided solace and encouragement to the early Muslims who faced persecution and hardship. The early followers of Islam were often subjected to severe trials and tribulations, and the surah's messages served as a source of strength and reassurance during these challenging times. By emphasizing the temporary nature of this worldly life and the eternal bliss awaiting believers in the hereafter, the surah strengthened their faith and resolve. It reminded them that their struggles and sacrifices were not in vain, and that a greater reward awaited them in the afterlife. It reminded them that their sacrifices were not in vain, and that Allah's justice would ultimately prevail. This message of divine justice and ultimate victory was crucial in maintaining the morale and commitment of the early Muslim community. Understanding the Meccan context of Surah Al-Mursalaat is essential for appreciating its message and impact. The surah's themes of resurrection, divine justice, and the transient nature of worldly life are deeply intertwined with the challenges and opposition faced by the early Muslims in Mecca. The surah's powerful affirmation of Islamic monotheism, its unwavering stance against idolatry, and its message of hope and resilience for believers all resonate deeply when viewed through the lens of its historical setting. By understanding the context in which it was revealed, we can better appreciate the profound impact it had on the early Muslim community and its enduring relevance for believers today. At its core, Surah Al-Mursalaat delivers a clear and resounding message. Allah is one, and He alone possesses absolute power and authority. This surah, like many others in the Qur'an, serves as a profound reminder of the omnipotence of Allah, urging believers to reflect deeply on His unparalleled might and sovereignty. The surah repeatedly emphasizes the might of Allah, highlighting His ability to control the forces of nature, create life and death, and resurrect the dead with ease. The imagery used in the verses paints a vivid picture of the natural world, from the tumultuous seas to the serene moments of birth and the inevitable reality of death. Each of these elements serves as a testament to Allah's boundless power and His intricate design of the universe. The surah's opening verses, with their evocative descriptions of winds that scatter, clouds heavy with rain, and angels sent forth in a grand procession, serve as a powerful reminder of Allah's dominion over all creation. These natural phenomena, which we often take for granted, are orchestrated by Allah's will, demonstrating His control over every aspect of existence. The winds that scatter seeds, the clouds that bring life-giving rain, and the angels that carry out divine commands all point to a higher power that governs the cosmos. These verses are not merely poetic descriptions of natural phenomena, they are intended to awaken our hearts to the awe-inspiring power of our Creator. When we witness a thunderstorm rolling across the landscape, or gaze up at the night sky filled with stars, we are reminded of our own smallness in the grand scheme of things. These moments of reflection can lead us to a deeper appreciation of Allah's greatness and our dependence on His mercy and guidance. Furthermore, Surah Al-Mursalaat emphasizes the certainty of the Day of Judgment. This is a day when all of creation will be brought to account and the scales of justice will be balanced. The surah's vivid imagery of this day serves to instill a sense of urgency and accountability in the hearts of believers. It reminds us that our actions in this life have consequences, and that we will be judged based on our deeds. It vividly describes the events of that day, from the deafening blast of the trumpet to the resurrection of the dead and the final judgment. The surah paints a picture of a world transformed, where the dead rise from their graves and all of humanity stands before their Creator. The imagery of the trumpet's blast, which will be heard by all, serves as a powerful reminder of the inevitability of this day and the need to prepare for it. The surah leaves no room for doubt or ambiguity. It asserts that every soul will be held accountable for its deeds in this life. This accountability is a central theme in the Qur'an, and Surah Al-Mursalaat reinforces this message with clarity and conviction. It calls on believers to reflect on their actions, to seek forgiveness for their shortcomings, and to strive to live righteous lives in accordance with Allah's guidance. By highlighting the vastness of Allah's creation and the certainty of the hereafter, Surah Al-Mursalaat calls us to reflect on our place in the grand scheme of things. The surah encourages us to look beyond our immediate surroundings and consider the broader context of our existence. Whether we are standing under a starry sky, gazing out over a vast desert, or navigating the hustle and bustle of city life, we are reminded of the transient nature of this world and the eternal reality of the hereafter. It urges us to recognize our own insignificance in the face of Allah's might and to live our lives with purpose and accountability. The surah's message is a call to humility, reminding us that we are but small parts of a much larger creation. It encourages us to live with a sense of purpose, to seek out opportunities to do good, and to remain mindful of our responsibilities as stewards of Allah's creation. The surah's message is both a warning and a reminder, a warning against the consequences of disbelief and transgression, and a reminder of the eternal rewards that await those who believe and do good. It calls on us to reflect on our actions, to seek forgiveness for our mistakes, and to strive to live lives that are pleasing to Allah. By doing so, we can hope to attain the eternal rewards that await the righteous in the hereafter. The surah's powerful message serves as a guide for believers, encouraging us to remain steadfast in our faith and to live lives of purpose, accountability, and devotion to our Creator.